Welcome into SportsZone. I am your host for today, Elias Freeman. This is our first ever Women's History Month show. The theme for this Women's History Month is Leading the Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future, and we are starting that off by our first ever all-women show on SportsZone. I am joined by Beth and Marcella Anhuci, and we're going to be talking some NWSL. Are you guys ready?
I'm so ready.
I'm so excited.
All right, my first question for y'all is, who's your favorite NWSL team this season? Season just started. Every team has played 2 games. Who's been your favorite so far?
I mean, I have to go with the Thorns. I mean, how do you get 2 red cards in a game and you still win? I mean, I'm talking about my Thorns. I mean, you have Megan Rapinoe as someone who's on your team. You have Rose Lavelle. I mean, how can you not pick with the Thorns? But also, Angel City FC. My girls are #1 in the league. And, you know, when Kristen Press leaves your team, you got to keep it up. And they've done that.
Listen, as a Houston native, I have to go with the Houston Dash. They're at number 2
shocked.
right now.
I'm
Listen,
shocked.
I have to go with them. Like, they're number 2 right now. They're doing really, really well. And my absolute favorite this season, and probably every season, is my H-Town hottie, Avery Patterson. You know, she was newcomer of the year for the Dash in 2024 when she was first drafted. She's been incredible since she stepped on the pitch. Last year, she started in all 21 matches, and she logged over 1,000 minutes. Like, she's just insane. She's insane on the back line. She really is the one carrying this Houston defense this year.
And I want to give props to her, too. After the Dash played Dallas Trinity, she was the one on defense that every scoring opportunity they got, she was there stopping my girls. So I got to give my props to her. She's good.
Absolutely. With that being said, Houston Dash number 2, what do you think has been their strongest?
Oh, their defense. I mean, like, it's always their defense. It's the middle of the field that they kind of struggle with. Their offense and their defense are really good. It's that midfield that they get a little muddled in, and that's how teams get opportunities off of them. And so with their defense, they're just, I mean, Dallas Trinity only got 1 goal off of them. And so they're good. I got to bring out my girls. They're my girls. Hey,
Talking about Dallas Trinity, I said, oh, I'm sure.
My girls. But their defense is super good. Like, I was like amazed every time I saw them down there, and I was super amazed at their offense as well. I mean, our goalkeeper and our defense was running everywhere. It was the middle of the field that they were giving up chances on, and I think that's where they could end up improving.
Well, that's a good point. I've said this probably a million times on this show, and I will say it probably a million times more. You cannot win without good defense. I think your offense can be pretty weak, and you can still pull something off if you have a solid defense.
Oh,
so,
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that.
My sister's a defender, so she's agreeing with this statement.
Okay.
If without the defense, the team fails.
Shout out your sister.
Shout out my sister.
Another woman in sports.
Shout out her.
So the craziest game so far has been the Portland Thorns winning 2-0 in their rivalry game versus Seattle. So despite Portland getting 2 red cards, what were your thoughts on that game and how those teams looked?
I would say that game was really aggressive on both sides. Obviously, the Thorns got 2 red cards. One of them was hair pulling, so it was really, really justified, and the other one was a second yellow, so it just is how it goes. But that game was super aggressive between both teams. Even though Seattle didn't score, I wouldn't say they were like beat or they were like whatever put under over and over and over again. Watching that game, I thought they were pretty even. And so I think it says even though the Thorns are up right now in the rankings and Seattle's pretty low, they're not that far from each other. Near these rankings in this league right now, only 2 games in, that everyone is about to move like crazy throughout the rest of this time.
I mean, I'm going to have to disagree with you a little bit. I think that this showed how weak Seattle's defense is. I mean, look at them during Pietro Torden's goal. Like, they were literally just standing there. Like, they're acting as if the ball is on the complete other side of the pitch. So I think that this just goes to show that they kind of need to clean up their act. And, you know, there was talk that they were, you know, really fatigued and all that stuff, but I'm going to have to disagree with that too. Every single one of these teams has these nutrition coaches, has these coaches that help them with travel and all that stuff. So I just disagree. I just think that it was a weak game and they're trying to find excuses for it. And I don't know, I feel like this is just really a show that, hey, they had 2 less people on the pitch and they were still scoring over you. Like, I think this is like a real wake-up call for them to be like, hey, get your act together. Just me.
I will say Torden had a pass to Turner on the pitch, and that was a beautiful pass.
That was
Let me tell you, that was a gorgeous
ever.
pass.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
like, And there was no one out there. And this is in the first half. We did lose both. We got one red card in the first half. So this was still, we were only down one player at this point when both goals happened. And it was only in the second half that we got the second red card for the Thorns. So, I don't know, maybe you're changing my mind. Maybe that defense does need to step up. Because they kind of was no one there when Turner scored.
I mean, your losses matter just as much as your wins. I think a loss can tell you a lot more about a team than a win. It's not just when you lose or how much you lose by, but it's how you lose. So...
And towards the end of the game, of course, they were getting so desperate for a goal when in reality they should have been relaxed. Like they had 2 people out, and you're scrambling for this goal when in reality you really should have been relaxed. You should have been using the numbers as your win, and it's just it was just crazy to me that they were just kind of sitting around doing absolutely nothing.
It was the midfield again. The midfield is what got them. It's always the midfield.
It's always the midfield. I feel like that's a trend in soccer, though, is it not? The midfield is always like every time I watch soccer, I'm like,
they're the ones running around the most, and so it's like the first to get fatigued, and if they don't sub them out, it's really hard for a team to keep up that midfield going and going again. And both of the red cards on the team, one was on offense, one was on defense. So now your pressure is fully on your midfield the complete rest of the game, and that fatigues people more.
So here's another question. Do you guys think the midfield issues, that trend, has been a coaching issue or a player issue?
I'd say both. I think
honestly,
it's a both
I'm gonna have to agree with that both.
Because even though, like, obviously these people are athletes and they train their bodies very well. I mean, no one can. I don't know. I personally cannot sprint around for 90 minutes and be fine at the end of it. Like, I'm not gonna keep that up for that long. And so I think these coaches need to learn to. Obviously, you don't get a ton of subs in NWSL, so you kind of have to play it into your cards, which you're gonna do. But I think, instead of subbing out your offense as often as they do, that subbing out that midfield might be better for the teams.
Yeah. And I'm going to say something maybe a little controversial, but you know, I've been growing up, I watch Brazilian soccer all the time. I watch English soccer. Those 2 red cards were like completely insane to me. Like when they happened, because I watched it, when they happened, I was like, guys, come on, like that was not a red card. Like I think that.
Okay, wait, the hair pulling, was it a red card?
That was a yellow at best.
Girl,
that
she came down off of the header and had her hair in her hand and yanked it down.
Listen.
There was no need for her hand to be here grabbing her hair. That was a red card.
Maybe that's a problem that you should take up for yourself. Why is your hair down? Like,
her hair's in a ponytail, it's long.
Put it up in a bun. Listen,
is your hair gonna last in a bun?
I said that this was gonna be a controversial take, but just for me personally, I just did not think that those were red card worthy.
Well, first red card was a second yellow.
Well, yeah.
So that's how it got to the red.
Well,
so that was a yellow card, technically.
So you think we should let divas be divas and leave it at that?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying, actually.
Excellent takes here happening. So my next question, the San Diego Wave took advantage of the recently introduced high-impact player rule, signing Masario from Chelsea in an NWSL record deal for $300,000 with a salary of $8 million. What does the rule and signings like this mean for the league?
I think that this means that we're going to see more people staying in the NWSL longer, and I think that this is going to mean that people want to start in America and they want to stay and they want to do their whole career here. Like you do see these American players who just go to England automatically because they know that they're going to get better deals, they're going to get better everything in England. But with this new rule, I think that you're finally going to see that hey, this is going to keep people in America.
I mean, Trinity Rodman is staying in the NWSL because of this new thing in here. And Katarina, she moved to the U.S. when she was 12, but then she went to Chelsea women's team because there's more opportunities abroad for women, and I love the Chelsea women's team. Those are also my girls, so I love this topic myself. But I think it just helps keep people in, and I think it's also kind of weird the way that they have the rules for the high-impact players, because some of it's kind of weird. You have to have the top, out of the players on the team, the top 11, you have to have the most minutes played for the national team to get that rule by, which is kind of weird because what happens is someone's injured for a couple of seasons, but they're still a super high impact player. What if Megan Rapinoe was injured for a couple of seasons? Would you still not sign her for a lot of money because it's Megan Rapinoe, but she wouldn't fall in this thing, so I'm not sure. But
then you also have that where teams are going to see that and they're going to make room for that. That's what I think that the Dash are currently trying to do, where they just traded Yasmin Ryan and Delaney Sheehan to the Denver team. but I think that they're making room because they just got $1 million. Like, you have these players like Avery Patterson, you have Jane Campbell, and then you have the up-and-comers as well. I think that teams are going to have to start being financially smart and thinking like, okay, we have this amazing player. Maybe she's not a high-impact player, but we have this amazing player. Let's make room for her. Maybe let's move some of our players over. Maybe let's get some more funds into our club so that they have those things moving forward.
I think that's a great point, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, that retention, when we talk about the WNBA CBA. But for now, that's all we have for NWSL. And next up, we'll be talking Women's March Madness here on SportsZone.